What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with another episode of Pound for Pound. I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
You know, time and time again, we like to have special guests, celebrity guests, superstars on the show besides Triple C. And today we have a very, very special guest for you guys. I mean, a woman that needs no introduction, a woman that has done it all, seen it all when it comes to combat sports, a two-time Olympic champion. And honestly, I truly believe she could have been a three-time, but she had other plans. And those plans was to go and become undisputed women's heavyweight champion, undisputed women's middleweight champion, and undisputed, I think, super light heavyweight champion of the world. It's so many. We lose count. It's so many. And also now a mixed martial artist in her own right, Miss Claressa Shields.
Woo! A Shot of Line production.
What's up, Claressa? How you been?
I've been good. I've been very good.
I see you. We see you all around. You know, I done seen you doing some things. I see you at fights, of course. A lot of people don't know. Like, obviously, I met Claressa a long, long time ago.
At the Olympic Training
we
Center.
met back in, I believe, 2011 at the Olympic Training Center while they had world team tryouts or camps to make the Olympic team.
Yeah.
And that's when they met. And that's when we met. And I remember hearing about Claressa, and you know, it was like, yeah, it's this girl, you know, it's gonna make the team. And yeah, she be putting hands on all these females. And yeah, she put hands on some dudes too. I was like, ooh. And then I went in there and then I seen her train and spar. I'm like, oh yeah, she's a real deal. Fast forward to going to the London Olympics, she becomes an Olympic champion. And then fast forward to 4 years later to Rio Olympics, she becomes Olympic champion. And I just kind of loosely followed the journey, on and on and on to where you are now, Claressa. I mean, you've accomplished so much in your career. I mean, when you sit back and you kind of take it all in, how are you feeling at where you're at right now? And are you satisfied with where you're at right now?
You know, honestly, it's like so surreal with everything that's happening. You know, like I knew I would be the greatest woman boxer in history. I knew that no girl could beat me. I knew that. But I didn't know like the recognition, the respect, the money, the people knowing me, the biopic. Like I didn't know this stuff would happen. And I knew I was worthy of it. I knew that I deserved it, but I didn't know if it would happen. So I'm just so happy now that like, wow, I think when I hear myself say 15-time world champion, I kind of giggle a little bit. Cause it's like, what else can you do? Like, when are you going to stop? When does this end? How much ass can you kick? And honestly, the fire inside of me is still burning to fight. So that's why I'm here. And I think it's going to be burning until I'm 38 years old. So I got 9 more years in the game. And, man, I'm just at a happy point in my life, but it's very surreal. And, you know, Christmas Day, the fire inside comes out where Ryan Destiny is portraying me. And I just can't think about this stuff because it's like, who has a biopic about their life? Who? Muhammad Ali?
Wow.
George Foreman? Mike Tyson? Name a female MMA fighter or a female boxer who has a biopic about their life. You can't name one. It's just me. And I find that to be like, you gotta have a life that's worth that. And my life has been so, from the beginning to where it is now, like the life I done lived, it's unreal to me. It's unreal.
I agree. It's been special. And like you mentioned, December 25th, first of all, a lot of people don't necessarily know the ins and outs of kind of your journey and in your life. And so December 25th, The Fire Inside, a biopic of your life, is going to come out. And do you feel like that's going to give people kind of like a clear picture of kind of the journey that you've had so far and where it's still going?
It would give them, I think some people with like celebrities, they only see the glitz and the glam. See, Kamaru, you came from a wrestling background. You didn't have any boxing experience till after you went to the Olympics, what, the first or the second time? You really wasn't trying to get into the whole boxing thing. You know, so for me, I started boxing at the age of 11. People think that I just turned pro and start talking trash and calling out men and doing all this stuff. And it was like, no, people need to understand that from the beginning of my boxing career, I was the only girl in the gym at the age of 11 till I was about 17 years old. The only girl in the gym. I trained just with the boys. I did everything they did. I did it better than them. I trained harder than them. Boxing is not something that I do because I'm angry, but something I'm very passionate about. And I've been passionate since I was 11 years old. I love to fight. I love the art of war. You know, that's why I did crazy ass MMA. You know, and it's like, I didn't have to do it, but I did it. So, you know, I think in the movie, I'm happy that they'll get to see my upbringing, because my upbringing, just that story alone, my upbringing and how I made it through is a story in itself. If you take out boxing, the fact you can add boxing to it with all this greatness is the other part. But I think people need to understand where this attitude and where this confidence and where this woman who walk into a room and own the room, they don't understand where it comes from. And I believe that the fire inside will give them an insight of where it comes from, and their perspective of me will be a lot different, and they'll understand this is why she is how she is, because she has to be this way. She's very strong. She's been through a lot. She's rough around the edges. She's smoothing the edges out. But if people would have went through what I went through, you're not supposed to turn out on the good side if you went through what I went through.
Yeah, can I tell you something, Clarissa? You know why I respect you? One, Olympic champ. That's hard. To do it 2 times is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
But the reason why I respect you, obviously, I respect anybody that wins the Olympics, but the fact that you're one of the only females to really jump into the sport of mixed martial arts and really try it out. I mean, mixed
Yep.
martial arts, it's elbows, knees, fists. Like there's a lot of MMA fighters that will transition to boxing, but there's not a lot of boxers that is willing to take a kick, get elbowed, get kneed, get
Talk
power
about
drive.
anxiety.
Yeah, yeah.
Anxiety.
And
Anxiety.
and obviously we had some time to spend together. You came out,
Yep.
I think it was a couple days to a few days, and you came
Mm-hmm.
out and just I can see why Claressa Shields is very is a champion, because you're all eyes and ears. Even when I was, we're talking about position, and you're like, hey man, like a lot of these guys are telling me to stay low. I'm like, dude, try to stay low for like 5 minutes, see if that feels good. Remember what I told you? It's like you just got to be out a little further out, and just know
Yeah.
when to go. You got to really kind of cover everything with your fakes and feints. So we've
I
been
remember
able to
this.
see that. Obviously, you've done well in the sport of mixed martial arts. Obviously, you've conquered the world of boxing, but there's animosity, and this is a sport of MMA. This is where it kind of takes us.
Yeah.
There's animosity between you and Cris Cyborg. I thought you guys were friends, sparring partners, whatever that is, but she wants a piece of Claressa Shields. I mean, what
Nah,
do you got to say about
she
that?
want the clout. She want the clout. That's what Cris Cyborg want. Ain't nobody paying no attention to no Cris Cyborg no more. She's old and I'm new. I'm popping right now. She's a hater. And when we sparred, I kicked her ass easy. She lucky I didn't knock her ass out, because the way that she was looking at me like a deer up in headlights. And then her little boyfriend Ray, when I whooped her ass after, what was it, 4 rounds, and we supposed to go 6, he walks up to me. He's like, "Oh my God, it just feels so good to see Cris get humbled. She beats up guys in the gym. She beats up all the women. It just felt so good to see her get humbled. It makes me think that she whoop his ass. She talking about some
Damn.
she talking about some
Damn.
dad. Yeah, yeah.
Jesus
She talking about that. She
Christ!
talking about some that she want to fight me, and she talking
Woo!
about she want to fight me. Well, bitch, come do it. Come fight me. I don't understand what we waiting on. She's talking about some, I want you to come to MMA. No, you idiot. No, I'm not going to MMA. Come. You said You would knock me out if we wore 8-ounce gloves at 154 pounds. I don't give a damn if we wore 4-ounce gloves. I'm going to sleep Cris Cyborg ass because what? She cannot fight. You're an MMA fighter.
Would you entertain a boxing match against Cris Cyborg in 2025? She wants a piece of you, man. She's doing the marketing. As she should.
I would listen. I'm entertaining it. I don't know why she wants to make this whole facade of that. First of all, why do I gotta be scared of Cris Cyborg? Make it make sense. What am I scared of? I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you. I'm better than you. What do I need to, and then in the boxing ring, I keep telling her, bring her ass. Come on. Bring her ass and come on and do it quick. Hurry up. Come on. Come and fight me. Listen, it's not hard to make a fight with me. She said she want to fight at 154. I'll fight February 2nd in Flint, Michigan, up at heavyweight, up at 175 for the Undisputed Championship. And then guess what? She can get her ass kicked February 3rd, the next day. It's simple.
Like that.
Very simple.
Like that.
Yeah, like that.
That's interesting that you mentioned that. I have a couple of questions. One, would you? Okay, so absolutely, I agree with what you're saying. Would you also entertain doing that fight also in MMA as well as in boxing? Would you entertain both? Because a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, come over to boxing, and then now I'll go over to MMA." A lot of you see a lot of some of these fighters say it. Some of the male fighters say it. And then once they get you over to boxing and they beat you up in boxing because that's not your discipline, they never go to MMA and do that in MMA. I honestly do believe that you are one, because you have dabbled in MMA. You are one of the ones that could do that. Would you entertain that in mixed martial arts as well as boxing?
No, I'm not going to fight Cris Cyborg in MMA. Why? She got too much experience, and I don't have enough time to learn it. If I was better on the ground, if I was better, but I just don't have the time to do that stuff. I have trained maybe a year full time doing MMA, like jiu-jitsu and all that stuff. Like, so I get in there and I fight against these girls and I almost got my arm broken twice. You know what I'm saying? So, with Cris Cyborg, she knows, one, boxing is a more fair sport. How is it more fair? You got your left and your right. MMA, she got her left, her right, her elbows, her knees, her kicks, the ground game, all her experience in MMA versus me, who I've only been doing MMA, a year and a half, 2 years? So for me, I wouldn't do it, but she says she can whoop some ass, so she should be able to whoop some ass with the gloves on. But she need all that extra shit. Like, she need the ground game, and she need the grabbing and the elbow. She need that shit. But the thing is, Lord knows, I will fuck Cris Cyborg up in the street fight, man. Lord knows it too, man.
I hear what you're saying, Claressa, and yes, of course, I agree that, and I like the fact that you recognize that she does have a lot more experience, and that in a sense gives her obviously the advantage when it comes to the sport of mixed martial arts, where the playing field are more leveled, because it's not just one skill. You have so many other different skills now to utilize to maybe be able to pull off the win. So I get that. I understand that.
All she gonna do is try to take me down to the ground and kick me. That's all she gonna do. But up in boxing, it's a fair fight. To me, in boxing, we got the same. One, we don't have the same level of knowledge, but we got the same punches, which is the jab. I mean, you got a lot of punches, but you got your left and your right hand. MMA, she knows stuff that I don't know. She says she can box and she can beat world champions, and she's this, she's that. She already said she can knock me out, so she's standing on her word, and she should do it.
Right. No, I hear you. I hear you.
Come on, come knock me out.
But Claressa, also, and it's interesting that you mentioned earlier, because you fought all the way up at heavyweight, which is 175 pounds for women.
Yeah.
But you've also fought all the way down at 55?
54. Yeah.
54. And we never really see that a female be able to move up and down in weight like that. That's obviously something that's extremely challenging. I know. getting all the way down to our
Yeah.
weight classes. I know how tough and how challenging that is. But for a female to be able to cut that much weight or gain that much weight and go back down, that's extremely challenging. And yes, you've done that
Yeah.
early on in your career. But now, listen, we know nobody's getting any younger. So do you think now,
Yeah.
in the place where you are in your career, that's still going to be kind of a transition for you to be able to move up and down in weight?
I absolutely believe that. Like, I work with perfecting athletes. Shout out to my nutritionist, Paulina, and them. And I have to say that, listen, I haven't controlled my own eating and my diet for a very long time. Like, I have the best nutritionist, and they feel like I can make 154. So, I mean, 147. So, me being a 5 division world champion, I can be a 6 division world champion if we go down to 47 and get one of the champions to fight us.
Yeah.
So I believe I can make 147. I think people overlook that I'm a little bit younger than everybody else. I mean, yeah, everybody's getting older, but I'm not 30 yet.
Yeah. Well, can I tell you something though too, Clarissa? I think there's a lot of things where people really gotta give you your props. Is you're bringing a lot of attention to women's boxing, and you're not just beefing with a girl like Cris Cyborg. I mean, you're beefing with Baumgardner. I mean, who else you beefing with, man? What's the whole deal with you and Baumgardner, man? Why? What's? I thought you guys were friends or homies, and then all of a sudden you guys are like cat and dog.
Honestly, it be these girls. Like, one, Kamral, I'm a pretty loyal and solid person. So if I mess with you, I mess with you. It's like with these girls, one minute I'm thinking everything is solid and everything is cool, and then the next minute they switching up. So when they do that, I be trying to understand like what's going on, but I think being successful bring like a lot of jealousy and hate. And not that they want to be that way, but everybody wants the number one spot, but they don't want to fight for it. They want to talk for it. And it's like, you gotta whoop my ass first. And these girls not willing to do that. So I think with I had a talk with Baumgardner recently, and we ain't as beefed out as it was, but I just think it's just a thing of competitive spirits. You know what I'm saying? Her being competitive, me being competitive. But I don't be starting to beef with these girls. I just kind of beef with whoever want to beef with me, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to beef, but if it comes, I don't push it away. I don't really care.
You're right. I mean, but Henry, you hit a good point there, because it seems like at one point yourself, Baumgardner, Michaela Mayer, everyone was cool, was tight. Even Franchon, throw it back. Even Franchon and I felt like at one point everybody was cool, but then the next minute we see y'all beefing. You don't like this girl. You don't. From what I heard recently, maybe you and
Nah,
Michaela kind of had some situation, or
these
and it's
girls
like,
don't like me, and no. See, the thing is, me and Michaela go way back, so I could never
right.
not love her. You understand? So that's my Olympic sister for life, and she know that. But after going through what I went through with Alicia Baumgardner, going through what I went through with Cris Cyborg, and then even hearing Michaela say that she would fight me, and it never crossed my mind to fight her, because it's like, damn, I love this girl. Like, we came up together. She done helped me through so much shit. But now, as I have grown through that, now I'm at a point to where I will fight anybody, and I will put whatever the beef is to the side, but I will literally fight anybody. I mean, and I will put the love to the side, and I will fight anybody. So I told myself, I'm not going to tell these girls that I won't fight them, because they have no problem with calling me out. And if you can call out the head honcho, then the head honcho going to let you know what it is. I'm going to fuck you up. And then after, hopefully we can hug it out after. But if not, you the one wanted to fight me. I didn't want to fight you.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And Mike Tyson talked on this too. Is when that opportunity, because we're in the sport of actually, making a living with what we do, which is obviously use our hands and feet. And so with you ladies, I think too is you guys also are so emotionally invested with each other, because like you mentioned, with you and Michaela, you guys have go all the
Yeah.
way back. You guys have known each other for such a long
Yeah.
time. But we've recently seen an upswing in where you guys are getting paid now for fights. I watched
Yep.
you
Yep.
and Savannah Marshall go over there to London and sell out a freaking arena. And I
Twenty
watched that
thousand
fight, and
people.
I'm sitting to myself going, these ladies are doing their thing now. And we just watched Jake
Yep.
Paul put in Serrano and Taylor on the card as well. And these ladies, y'all
Mm-hmm.
getting paid now. So I think it's a matter of
Yeah.
understanding that, okay, we can't do good business together, but at the same time,
Yeah.
we can be friends when we're done with this.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
So
I agree.
I feel like there's a lot of potential matchups for it. I mean, or there's a lot of categories. I think what I find fascinating, Clarissa, is the fact that you're thinking about possibly going down to 147 pounds. Like that's no joke. It's like you'll
Yeah.
be a. I mean, going from heavyweight to 147 pounds. I mean, what's the limit at heavyweight?
175, right?
175.
Yeah,
It's
so
just it's just 175.
from 70, so the limit of heavyweight is 175 pounds. If you could go down to 147 pounds like that, then you open up a lot of matchups with a lot of girls that are in those divisions that are a little more, I guess you could say, well known.
Well,
You know,
well, I don't think they well known, but I would say that when I was at 154, when I was undisputed there, it was a champion at the time named Cecilia Brakis. It was Jessica McCaskill. It was a couple girls, you know. And when I called them out for a fight, they all was like, "Oh no, you're too big. You fought at super middleweight. You fought at middleweight. You fought at super super welterweight." And those girls that were champions would not accept the challenge with me. So for me, it was like when I was at 54, in my mind, I'm like, there's only 7 more pounds, and I'm already right here. So let's just go for it now. So back when I was at 54, we was trying to do that, and these girls be so punks, man, to where they're turning down fights, they're turning down money, they don't want to put their belts up. And, how do deal with that? Now we've got a new plan now when I go down to 47. Now we got a new plan where it's like, look, we're going to fight the number 3s and the number 4s. And then when I become the number 1 mandatory, if you don't fight me, you got to vacate. So either way it goes, I'll be able to become a champion at 147. Either the girl's going to fight me or they're going to vacate. And a lot of these girls ain't got no heart because they all going to vacate.
you'll be the first ever sixth division champ. Shit, man.
I wouldn't be the first one. Amanda Serrano, I believe, is 7 division world champion. So
Okay.
she holds that. She holds that.
Speaking about Amanda Serrano, what did you think of that fight with her and Katie Taylor? Did you think she or yeah, Katie Taylor, right? Yeah, did you think Katie Taylor did enough to win that fight?
I think that Katie was the smarter fighter, and I think she figured it out. I think Amanda kept the same game plan. She didn't switch it up, and Katie she was hitting Amanda with 4 or 5 punches at a time. And Amanda was the stronger fighter, but I think skills and counterpunching won Katie that fight only by 6-4. And if somebody wanted to call it a draw, I wouldn't have been mad either. But like the fight was close as hell, and they're like each other's kryptonite, man. So whenever they fight, it's gonna be a close ass fight.
Yeah, it's legendary. I personally thought that Serrano did enough to win, but that's just me. I thought she inflicted a little bit
Mm,
more damage, particularly in the later rounds. But that being said, man,
mm.
let's move it along, dude. Tell me about your movie. I mean, who's playing you? Who's is Denzel somehow up in this up in your movie? Like, I want to know, dude. And
Ah,
how fun was that?
well,
How fun was it? Like, really a lot. Like, did you help direct? I mean, did you have a lot of insight? Actually, you know how Hollywood is. Hollywood, they be paying another picture,
yeah,
and if you ain't careful, dude,
yeah. Well, I can say that my executive producer part came in with one reading the script and okaying the script that Barry Jenkins wrote, who is the writer, and then my other executive producer part came in at the end where I okayed the movie to be okay for the whole world to see. The script to me was the most important part. I listened to it. I read it a couple times. I read it a couple times. Then I called Barry. I said, "Hey, spot on, but we gotta fix this and that." It really wasn't much, but I think that my story was very accurate, and I wanted him to keep the hardcore stuff in there. Keep the raw stuff in there because it's needed, even though it's kind of hurtful to see. It's needed, and I want the world to really see what I had to experience, because they haven't seen it. And that was it. So when I first seen the movie, it was kind of triggering, but as I read the script, it was triggering too. So I want them to know, like, this is gonna be out for the whole world to see, and I want the truth in there. I want the truth. I know Hollywood is all type of Hollywood, this and that. I want the truth in there. So the truth is in the story. Ryan Destiny portrayed the mess out of me. She trained very, very hard. I didn't have to do anything for her training. I think, and then she asked me what was my, relationship like with my mom, because my mom is still alive and I want her to be depicted the right way too. But this whole thing, I mean, to see how Brian Tyree Henry portrayed my first boxing coach, Jason Crutchfield, you really had to be around us to see it. And I have a whole documentary, T-Rex. And if you watch T-Rex and then you watch The Fire Inside Christmas Day, you will be like, wow, can't believe how this turned into this. But like the story is very, very compelling. It's the truth. And then you get the inside of it, like what happened after I won the first Olympic gold medal, the only American boxer to win Olympic gold medal 2012 since 2004. See what happened. How did I deal with what happened? And then even that, it's like everything didn't just go up. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life for 2 years. And then I decided, you know what? I'm going to go back to the Olympics again. So it's one of those things where it's like, when you watch The Fire Inside, it's a very resilient story, and I think everybody did such a great job. And shout out to Rachel Morrison, who was the director. I mean, this lady, man, has an eye and a vision and just so much. She's just so powerful, man. In the way that she wanted my story to be depicted the right way, and she knowing who I am, and just knowing how much I love boxing, how much a great person I am. She made sure that everything was in there. And I mean, I think this is really going to show people like, oh, this is who she is. Even though like the internet may paint a certain picture, this is really who she is, and she deserves everything that she has.
No, I remember like thinking about it now that you mentioned it. I think it was Jason Crutchfield, your box. Was he your coach on that Olympic team as well for 2012?
Yeah, that was my first coach.
I think I remember having a conversation with him because, like you mentioned earlier, it wasn't until I was at the Olympic Training Center that I really started to get into boxing and go, okay, that I'm gonna really start training this. I'm gonna really start, because I might switch up, And to be honest, I don't know, a lot of people didn't know this, but I was gonna leave 2012 and I was gonna just switch to boxing, and I was gonna come back. And in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm making the team in 16 for sure. I'm gonna make the Olympic team in boxing. So that was my whole mentality. There was nothing you can tell me different. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go work for 3 years and I'm coming back and I'm gonna make this team. I'm gonna be on the 2016 Olympic team. But then I'm like, oh, well, you know what? I'll be just giving up the skill that I done spent over 15, 20 years learning, which is wrestling. You know what? Let me just go combine the two and use them. But so when I started training boxing, I remember one day in the cafeteria, because I think Barry Hunter was at the campus there as well. Okay. And I would talk to Barry, and Barry would help me come in, and Barry would just show me some pointers and give me a lesson while you guys were at lunch or having a break. And I remember talking to Jason, and Jason was talking to me about you. And he would tell me, he's like, she's like nothing that we ever seen. This girl is out there putting it on dudes, like she's sparring young men, and she's putting it on them. And then she's talking about, she's like, well, really, one of her best punches is her left hook. People don't understand how the left hook is set up, and he's talking me through that.
You know what? You're giving away a lot right now. I ain't gonna
say too much. I ain't gonna say too much. But I remember talking to him, and so I'm anxious. I can't wait to see the movie. It's a lot of things now it's a lot of these biopics that are popping up right now, because we see now, I say more than ever, we're able to connect and see a lot of our sports stars, our superstars now. And most people want to know, they want to know about them. They want to know how they live in day to day. what they're doing, what they're eating, how they training is like. So I want to ask for you, as you mentioned earlier in the show, you've never been this. This is the most popular that you've ever been. You didn't know this notoriety and all this fame is gonna come. So you tell me, how has it been? How has it been now handling this fame that's coming? Because you from Flint, you now you got
Yeah.
bags on you. You got the bags on. I see you every show you go. You got the
Yeah.
buffs on. You got the buffs on. Like,
Yeah.
so how is it
Yeah.
handling the fame and everything?
It's all right. Like it really has its pros and cons, and honestly, I love it. I'm not one of the people that be like, oh, I wish I was rich and not famous. I like the fact that I'm famous, and I like the fact that I got money too. I want both. I don't want to walk in the room and then I'm rich, but nobody know who I am. It's like I want to be known for the great things that I do. So I enjoy it. It's just sometime when like we in a social media era, and they are crazy. It's like being a celebrity, you have no privacy. People always in your business trying to figure out what's going on, why it's going on, is it true, is it not true? Are you married? Are you engaged? Who's your coach? Who's not your coach? I mean, it's just so much. It's like there's just no privacy. But for me, God let me know that this was about to happen to me. And so when I won my fight July 27th and I knocked the girl out in 2 rounds, and then a day after that, when everybody was acting crazy, God said, it's time for you to go. I up and moved my whole life. I up and went to Atlanta. I stayed with my best friend for 3 or 4 months. I was looking for me a house. I found me a beautiful 7-bedroom house. I live in my house by myself. And now I have a whole new center of peace that was needed, because sometimes in celebrity life, when you're around people that's just trying to make up these stories about you all the time, everybody want a storyline, everybody just out for think you owe them something, all this entitlement. I'm like, I gotta get away from everybody, man, because it was very, very stressful. And you would think that winning the fight and after the fight it wouldn't be stressful, but it was stressful. And even some family was going crazy, friends switching up, people being snakes and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I asked for the success, but I didn't ask for the switch ups. And I'm a very loyal person, so when it started happening to me, I'm not gonna lie. Like, my feelings was hurt. I'm like, oh my God, all my best friends, all my friends, all my family, like, what happened? What did I do? And I didn't do anything but be great. And sometimes people, they don't want what you give them, they want what you have. And I'm just not willing to give nobody what I have, because I work my butt off for it. So
Yeah.
I changed my whole life up, and that's why you see like it's a lot going on, but you see me handling it different, because I'm in a different piece now than where I was before.
Yeah, well, I think one of the things too, Clarissa, obviously you've done a lot of things in combat sports, from, being a 2-time Olympic champion, multiple-time world champion in boxing, transition into MMA, also became successful. But yeah, people would want to know a little bit of your personal life. You know what I'm saying? Are you single, engaged? I mean, is there, when do you want to become?
Tell us.
When do you want to become do you have plans? Obviously, you're chasing a lot of dreams, but is your plan to become a mother? Is there a timeline for that? And is you single?
You're so funny, man. I'm
It's complicated.
I'm not engaged. I'm not married. Nobody has ever seen me walk down the aisle in a wedding dress, so that shouldn't be anything. I'm not engaged. People break up every day, so I don't know why it's a big deal that me and him not together. Look, we tried it. It didn't work out. It is what it is. Now moving forward, I honestly I want my I want my dating life to be private, because people just do so much. They just do too much, and they just insert themselves where they shouldn't be inserted. They got all these opinions, all this stuff. So with this whole, am I single or am I with somebody? It's so funny.
You can't even hold it.
Look at you blushing. Look at you blushing about me. I'm calling your blush,
funny, man.
girl.
I am living a private dating life. That's all I
Yo, you
can
know what? And
say.
that's interesting. You say that. It's interesting you say that. I ain't gonna put you. I ain't gonna put you all the way out there because you know it's. It, I hear things and things going around. I ain't gonna put you all the way out there. But what I do want to ask is
Ask her she has a
how
type, Kamaru.
hey, I ain't gonna ask what I already know. I ain't gonna do that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask is how challenging is it for you in the dating pool, in the dating game? Because
Oh my
one, it's
God.
not just because you have the finances. Two, it's not just because you are famous, you have the fame, but you're also it's not like too many men is gonna come in that's going, because as men, we're protectors and providers.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
could provide for yourself and you can protect yourself as well, how difficult is that for you in the dating game nowadays?
It is very difficult because one, I've always taken care of myself. I've always paid my own bills. I take care of my family. I take care of my sister kids, my mom, my dad. Like I take care of everybody. I haven't, when it like comes to somebody taking care of me, like people think that I don't want to be taken care of. Um, it's kind of hard because when you are successful and you do the stuff that you do, people don't really you don't know what a guy like you for. Do he like you because you're pretty or because you're famous or because you can fight or do like they don't really understand that still a woman, so for me that's why I kind of I had paused it for a little while, so yeah, it's not the most easiest thing to do, but I don't really care for it like that. I'm not dating, you're supposed to date multiple people at one time, right? Ain't that how you do it the right way? You're supposed to date multiple people at one time.
I don't
That's
know.
that's why it's called
I
dating,
don't think
right?
it's
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
yeah, of
I get it
course.
from that
Oh,
perspective. But as a female dating a man and you find out the man is dating multiple women, there's an issue with that. She's gonna be upset with
well,
that,
that's one
right?
thing you gotta have
But
with you
not
gotta talk to the person. Like, are we exclusive or are we an open dating? Like, are we open
Right,
dating or are we exclusively dating? Now, if you say we exclusively dating, that means I'm dating you, you dating me, and we ain't dating nobody else. So I'm one
right,
of them, exclusive
right,
dating. So
right.
I don't do like the
Okay.
speed dating type of deal. So for me, it be a little. I guess it's difficult sometimes, but it ain't no big deal.
Right. No, we got
Yeah.
you. And Clarissa, I mean, you've done so much of your career and in your professional career, and and you've been through so much in your life. And so, December 25th, The Fire Inside, the biopic of your life, is coming out, which obviously, like you mentioned earlier, it's gonna give us a little bit of an insight,
Mhm.
kind of your upbringing and your professional career, and I'm excited. I can't. I saw the trailer, and I didn't really even know they was working on a movie. And then I saw the trailer, and then I'm like, oh, I know her. I know that girl. Who they talking about? I know that
Right.
person. And so 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 I can't wait to see the movie. How excited are you about that? And just tell us a little bit more about that. So and where we can watch the movie.
December 25th, it'll be in the theater near you. It'll be in the theaters all over the U.S. The Fire Inside.
Mhm.
I am super excited. I think to have a biopic about your life while you number one in the world at what you do is not even heard of, man. This is unheard of stuff.
Right.
Everybody get their stuff after they retire. I get my stuff right now. I kind of feel like it's God being like, yeah, they overlooked you, but I'm about to give your just due while you still the one. And I'm just very grateful for that. I get to fight 2 months after my movie dropped. I get to have a fight. So I know it's gonna bring more attention to my fight, more attention to me. I mean, like I said, I got 9 more years in the game. I mean, it's just so many great things that's gonna come from this, and I'm really happy that Ryan Destiny will have her breakout role, like how she portrayed me. She's a total opposite of me. I mean, like we're both nice and loving and stuff like that, but she's like, I'm a beast. You know what I'm saying? I'm her, and she's like the complete opposite. And I like, and so how she portrayed me, even at 17, Kamal, I was even more. I am what I am now, who I am now. But back then, come on, you know, like how can anybody portray that? You've been around that where I'm in a lunch thing, you know, I'm in the cafeteria telling dudes I'll whoop their ass and telling them shut the F up, and you know, you've been around that, you know. So now it's like to be the woman that I am now. It's like how she portrayed that, even how I wore my hair, how I talked. Like, you know, I had a quick temper back then. Do not come messing with me. And then how she portrayed that, and also was able to show like I was still a nice, sweet, and loving girl then. I just wasn't for no shit. I think as you get older, you get a little bit nicer, and I think that I've gotten nicer. But I think she did a great job, you know, portraying me, and I'm just so happy for the world to finally see this story. Because if you want to know how to be a world champion, look, you need to go see the fire inside. If you want to be great at something, go and see the fire inside. Do you feel like you want to give up on something and you just discouraged? Go and see the fire inside. I can guarantee that when you leave, the fire inside of you will be burning. I can guarantee it.
Damn.
Love it.
Woo, cutting that promo. I like it.
Love it.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, Claressa, it's been a pleasure. As I mentioned, The Fire Inside, December 25th this year on Christmas Day. Go and see the movie, a biopic on Claressa Shields, The Journey, and I'm excited. I can't wait to watch it. But it's a pleasure. I can't wait to see what you do next after that. You know, whether it's going back to MMA, whether it's continuing to whoop these girls, whether it's a rematch with some of the fighters that you fought already.
She might stay in Hollywood, Kamaru.
What?
We might lose her to Hollywood.
Maybe.
What do you mean?
Maybe.
Well, like
who knows? Who knows?
An actress? Maybe.
Hell
acting,
yeah!
maybe?
What you think? You think that ain't doable? What's up?
I can be an actress.
You conquered all these mountains. You don't think? What about a politician?
Yeah.
No. Listen, politicians lie all the time. I'm not even good at lying, so no. I can't be no politician. I can't do it.
Well, Claressa, it's been a pleasure to have you on, and we can't wait to see the movie. December 25th, The Fire Inside going down, and of course, the GWOAT of combat sports, Claressa Shields. I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
We are out.